Hello, Steve Arts 9. Well, we got the new Blonde trailer from Netflix today. It's very interesting. It's the official trailer because the other one was technically a teaser trailer, and it does show a whole lot of scenes from the film. It's a traditional trailer. Um, it has a slow rendition, almost a cappella, Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, and we have black and white footage of Marilyn on I guess her first date with Joe DiMaggio, and he's asking her how she got discovered. She's telling him about being Marilyn Monroe, being in the public spotlight, supposed to be getting used to it, never having gotten used to it. That when she's in her dressing routine, she comes out dressing room. She comes out. It's a routine. She's still Marilyn when she's on camera, but Marilyn only exists on camera. But so like she's talking about herself, but not. It's interesting. There's a lot of footage, of course, just random scenes and shots with no real context. Now, we know the film is based on the book by Joyce Carol Oates, Blonde, which was a very large book, which some people seem to consider it a real story of Marilyn's life because it took a lot of liberties and was non-fiction, so she was able to tell a bunch of stories that were supposedly true about Marilyn, but, no one really had any proof. So it's sort of weird where it's a work of fiction, but some people consider it has a lot of truth to it. But there are a lot of scenes that supposedly never happened. So it's interesting that it is a semi-fictional version, and I think people are taking it as real life, like a story of her life, not so much fiction. So they probably could have promoted that a bit better, because there's a lot of myth around Marilyn we don't need any more. But it looks interesting. Probably the most interesting is the element of rage, seeing Marilyn scream and be angry in a few scenes. There's a scene where she's screaming in the car and she runs it into a light pole or something. There's another scene where she's filming the I'm Through with Love scene from Some Like It Hot. And in one scene, she's really disparaged. She's putting her face in her hands. And then there's another scene where she's like screaming, and you can see the girls in the background who aren't sort of reacting. So whether that's her real reaction or that she wanted to scream, or it's hard to tell what it is. But the film is by Andrew Domanik, and it's starring Anna de Armas. De Armas. I don't know how to spell her name. And she does have an air of Marilyn, but she seems to have an accent that doesn't quite fit Marilyn, and her jaw is a little square for Marilyn. But aside from that, most of her features do well. They've done a great job with the makeup and the hair, and the wardrobe is amazing. It looks exactly that they've managed to do some very accurate reproductions of the shots and scenes and clothes. So far as I can see, I didn't do any comparisons, but just looking at the Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, the pink dress, the dress from Some Like It Hot. What do we see? We see her going to a premiere. We see her being mobbed by reporters. We see her in a room full of fire. We see her crashing her car. We see her on the beach having the photos taken. I guess that, I don't know if it's like the scene with the shoot with Bert Stern, but it's probably just a scene with someone else. They just dressed it like that. What else? There's just a bunch of random images. There's a scene of her in what looks like the dress from Some Like It Hot, and she's upset, almost crying. So there's a lot of emotion, and we sort of hear her say that she doesn't want to do another scene with Marilyn Monroe, that Marilyn Monroe only exists on the screen. Yeah, it's 2 minutes 15. There's not a lot, but it feels like a lot because you get all these little shots that all feel like their own scenes, which you want to know more about. But that's the nature of trailers. It sort of often just shows you a little bit, doesn't necessarily give you a whole story and idea of what the actual film is, and sometimes they can be quite deceptive. Sometimes they use shots that aren't even in the films. So this is for Netflix, so there isn't the issue of runtime and some of the other things we have with a cinema film. It's supposed to be a lot more sexual and a lot more adult. There is a scene where we see her going into one of the offices of one of the big Hollywood moguls. Supposedly there's casting couch shenanigans and so forth, and it'll be interesting to see what they do, how true they are to the original source material, how much liberty they take, how much they actually get into Marilyn's real life using the book, or whether they totally just go with fiction on top of fiction. I don't know. It looks interesting. It looks good. The trailer was good. It's quite impactful, but I'm just a bit unsure of exactly what we're going to get, and I don't really like fictionalizing Marilyn's life so much because there's already, like I said, enough myth. A lot of people who don't know a lot about her who will watch this and think it's true. So, yeah, but I'm still very interested in seeing it. I might even get Netflix to see it because I don't have Netflix at the moment. I have no idea how I'm going to see it, but I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and sorry for misspeaking. I'm very tired. It's very late in Australia. It's about 5:30 a.m. I'm going to go. Bye.